Let's call this a reaction to the reaction videos. I posted a video about the solution that I thought might address some of the deficiencies in marketing. And a lot of you responded. There's been a lot of discussion. So I want to address some of that thinking in this bonus episode of The Business of Tech. So I did a video that got a lot of attention about using e-commerce in marketing. Lots of comments, pushback, and discussion. For me, that's amazing. That's the point. My starting statement to those who say I'm wrong or have a long list of objections, great. Then don't do anything different. Seriously, I mean it. I'm only offering my perspective to help business owners. I don't get paid by a vendor to sell you something. In fact, my motivation is to have as many of you in business as possible, so you listen to my stuff. If you listen to my stuff because it's valuable, I can make money. I am not selling you a solution. I am not selling you my methodology or some package you can buy from me or anything else. Alex Farling at Lifecycle Insights observed it very well. My business model is to, quote, say things that make MSP owners think. Thanks, Alex. So my motivation is to offer you my best stuff to have you listen. Thus, if you think I'm wrong, and the objections you have or I will discuss are your reasons, well, okay. I never claim to be totally right. My point is to make you think. That said, my video about e-commerce and marketing really struck a nerve. And you know what? I know I'm on to something when so many of you object so very loudly. I'm pretty sure I'm right. I wouldn't be saying it if I didn't. But let's talk about some of those objections, just so I've cleared the air a bit, because there are some good questions here. Let's work through them. There's a chorus of, oh, it won't work for me. Oh, my business is referral based. Oh, that won't work in my region. Oh, my services are just too customized. You know what all these objections sound like? The same garbage people told me about managed services. Seriously, these are just not objections. Because let's address the market in the next objection. Lots of listeners objected to my examples as too B2C. First off, let's observe I'm telling a story. I want you to think like the buyer, not focus on the examples. The concept of the examples is that you can spend big money, but it wasn't for you to focus on the examples. The point of buying a multi-million-dollar house or a very expensive car is that far bigger decisions than buying a laptop from you or even your entire service package are made online every day. But all you techies who want to argue the nuance, sure, some of my examples are B2C. So let's talk business services. So you say B2C doesn't do e-commerce, huh? Let's handle those. How about we want to incorporate the business? Check. How about we want to get a business account, have a relationship with a bank? Check. How about we want to hire business tax services? Check. How about we want to get business insurance services? Yep, I can do all the paperwork online. How about look into commercial real estate? Check. Subscribe to payroll and HR services? Check. Buy marketing services online? Check. So cry me a river. Complex services with lots of questions and customizations being sold and offered online to empower the buyer. And let me observe, you're technical people. You can't figure out a system to do this? Really? One provider just flat out told me it wasn't possible. Couldn't offer any services that did it. So I went to their website. Right there on the front page, obvious solutions that could be sold entirely via e-commerce. Because on the homepage was email spam solutions and VoIP solutions. You're telling me those are custom every single time? Email and spam? Really? I argue because this provider had it listed front and center on their homepage. That tells me they're leading with that product set. So why not e-commerce that? Then, so many of you instantly assumed you had to put everything online. Why is it all or nothing? Advocating e-commerce does not mean I'm saying you have to now sell everything you do online and then only sell online. So binary, people. This is an and, not an or. Listeners also assume that putting e-commerce on your site means you don't sell other ways. Stop that. This is not about you. You are making your services available for the way they want to buy, not the way you think it should be bought. When you say, I don't think they'll buy this way, you're missing that you don't get a choice. You might not buy that way, but why are you dictating the only way you're going to sell to them? I wouldn't have thought you'd buy any of the services I've already listed this way, but clearly people do. They also buy all those expensive items I listed online. It's not about you. It's about the buyer. If you think you're pushing people into a single channel, you're thinking about it backwards. Instead, you are offering all of the ways people would want to buy. You aren't taking away your other methods. You're adding a new way for people to buy. Think about that insurance sale. That insurance agent sells online and offers an agent and offers physical offices, well, in some cases. This is additive, not limiting. Think about the idea of qualifications. A set of comments here was very sharp. I don't want people to be able to sign up for our services unless they're qualified. And qualification does not mean able to write a big check each month. Another said, a good salesperson is an educator. What you're missing here is that your marketing is supposed to be doing this. This is particularly true about deep niche areas. I'm going to let you all in on a secret. You know all this content I give away? You know what it does for me? It sells more. In particular, I do some work with those looking to make strategic moves in this space. I'm doing education 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because my content is doing that work for me. Does that mean I don't engage and sell myself? Of course not. Most buyers, though, have now done already a bunch of homework before they even talk to me or to you. You think your salesperson is the first time they ever learned anything about this space? In fact, real educational content of real value helps the buyer self-qualify. Self-qualify. Your website is your virtual storefront. When in a real shop you would talk to someone, a virtual buyer is learning from your site. And for most of you, many of you, it's a pamphlet at best. Really, so many of your websites are not about the buyer, it's about you, the seller. The approach of real e-commerce is not to have someone randomly come into your virtual storefront and go from 0 to purchasing in 2 clicks. Instead, your virtual shop should have all the educational resources needed. And again, this is additive, not replacement. Here's another objection. What if someone rejects you because of listing price? My counter there is easy. You do realize some are eliminating you now because you don't have pricing, right? They go to your site expecting to see what will cost, and it's not there. My point here is that because now it's so easy to get prices on most things, it's expected. And do you honestly think that hiding your prices is good for you? If you believe in your value, you are proud of what you offer and you display it, and that includes the price because you know it's worth it. Another objection is that putting the price out there instantly commoditizes. You know what's flawed about that? You're assuming the buyer has absolutely no idea what the service should cost. Do you know how easy it is to get some sense of how much IT services cost? Go to Google right now and search, how much do IT services cost? Besides the fact that all your vendors are out there providing this insight by showing off their managed services pricing ebooks, don't you think customers can see that stuff too? The data's right there. Do you really think customers and prospects get all their information from you? Do you think they don't have Google? What year are you living in? My message is not one size fits all e-commerce. I am not saying the only way to do this is a shopping cart of all your services and everything is a virtual store entirely. What I am saying is you need to enable the customers who do want to buy from you to be able to do so much more streamlined and with a full electronic version of your process, whatever that means for you. Because it's not one size fits all. This is not a fully commoditized sale. Sure, some parts of it might be, and that is likely to drive sales, not hinder it. Here's my final thought. What no one debated, what no one addressed, was the disruption that's occurred in the last 12 months. E-commerce just surged between 2 and 5 times faster than pre-pandemic. Online doctor consultations have surged, as an example, tenfold between April and November 2020. If you're debating what has worked before and has all your knowledge gained from the times before the pandemic, that means you are totally ignoring everything that changed. Totally ignoring. You're really going to argue that there are no changes to be made and due to the changes in buying patterns brought on by the pandemic? None. The arguments I hear take into account not a single bit of current market data. Nothing about the surge. Nothing about the shift in buyer behavior. It sounds like an argument from 2 decades ago, and I'm not playing. You can die on that hill. Because for those of us living in the now and the future rather than the past, we recognize that the world has changed. Change or be the dinosaur. Thanks for watching this bonus episode of The Business of Tech. If you like what you heard here, hit that like button and hit subscribe. It really helps, and I appreciate the time that you do that. Additionally, if you want to have a conversation, write something in the comments. I read them all, and dialogue is the point. I don't necessarily claim to be right. I do want to make sure that we've engaged correctly. If you really like this content, you can find it daily on the Business of Tech podcast. Go to businessof.tech, click the big blue subscribe button, and find the podcast on whatever podcatcher you like to listen on. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, or wherever fine podcasts are found. And if you want to help with the content delivery and want to get access to things early, I've got a Patreon. You can support me directly. Go to patreon.com/MSPradio, and it's give what you want. You set the value of the content and help me make this kind of delivery on an ongoing basis. Thanks for listening, and I will talk to you again soon.